All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our NBA video here today for Tuesday, March 23rd. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. If you end up really enjoying today's video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. With that, guys, we're going to dive into some NBA action here today. Not a huge slate, kind of a smaller modified slate, but a couple good games and a couple key injuries we want to pay attention to. So let's go ahead and start with the Nuggets taking on the Magic. 7 p.m. Eastern start time in Orlando. The Nuggets are the 7.5-point favorite on the road. Totals 217 flat. And if you like the Magic in an upset victory on their home court, they're plus 250 on the money line. And despite a pretty rough day on my Patreon website yesterday, we still improved to 3-0 in our last three extra daily pick tier package plays on that Patreon page. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also hitting at 86% in our last 28 extra daily picks in that very same tier membership. And if you want to join the nearly 1,400 members who are currently signed up and active on that page, link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Magic's been absolutely horrible over the past month or so. Not a lot of wins, not a lot of points scored. Having said that, though, they have covered their fair share of point spreads recently. Matter of fact, I'd go as far to say is they've been making their backers money. Orlando's currently 3-1 against the number in their last four, 75% against the number in their last 8. Now, Orlando has a winning record against the spread on their home court, and they rank at the top 3 in the NBA in offensive rebounding. Nick Vucevic is scoring over 24.5 points per contest, 11 boards and 3 assists for the big center. Meanwhile, Evan Fournier is scoring nearly 20 a night himself, along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Now keep an eye on Terrence Ross. He's been listed as questionable. That in mind, though, we're still looking at an Orlando squad who's in the top 10 defensively in second quarter points allowed. Now they're taking on a Denver squad who failed to cover the point spread in their last 2 straight. Failures to cover against New Orleans and Chicago. The Nuggets also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6. And they're going to have to go to work without Harris, Morris, and possibly even Whittington here this evening. Now, out of Denver's 42 total ball games on the season, they've successfully covered the number in just 19 of them. And they're currently in the bottom 10 in the league in third quarter scoring on the road. Now, total-wise, Denver did see 3 out of their last 4 get over the number. 13-8 to the over when they travel. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Magic saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with the Nuggets get over the number themselves. 5 out of Orlando's last 9 contests this season also got over the total. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Orlando Magic plus 7.5 and the over 217. Next matchup, it is going to be Wizards versus the Knicks, 7:30 Eastern tip-off. The New York Knicks are the 2.5-point favorite at home. Totals 224. And despite a bit of a rough patch here recently, the Knicks have still successfully covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. They also went 70% against the number in their last 10. The Knicks currently lead the NBA defensively in points allowed. They're also first in defensive field goal percentage. The Knicks are also holding their opponents to just 33% shooting from beyond the arc. Julius Randle scoring 23 points a game, 11 rebounds, 6 assists for the Iron Man. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett scoring over 17 a night himself, 6 rebounds, 3 assists for the starting guard. And the reason why I say Iron Man, both of these players I just mentioned, they've started in all 43 of New York's games this season. They haven't missed a game. Now, the Knicks are allowing just 104 points per contest, very good defensively. They're taking on a Washington team who lost 6 out of their last 7 themselves, and they win only 36% of their road games. Now, the Wizards are currently 11 games below 500, and they rank dead last in the association in points allowed. They're giving up 120 points per contest. Bertans and Smith are both still out for the Wizards. When it comes to the total in this one, Washington saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the line, 60% of the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Knicks saw their last 3 straight stay under the total themselves, 26 and 17 to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the New York Knicks minus 2.5 and the under 224. Next ball game, it is going to be Lakers Pelicans, 7:30 p.m. Eastern start. The New Orleans Pelicans are minus 6.5, totals 223. Now the Pels are coming fresh off a solid victory over Denver, where they actually held the Nuggets to just 108 points. The Pels have also gone 4-1 against the number in their last 5 games, and that includes an outright 20-point victory over the Clippers during that stretch. Now, the Pellies are in the top 5 in the NBA in scoring, top 3 in offensive rebounding at home. Zion Williamson is scoring nearly 26 points a game, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Brandon Ingram scoring over 23.5 a night himself, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for the starting forward. But keep an eye on Lonzo Ball, as he's been listed as questionable. And, well, despite not being known for their defense, believe it or not, the Pelicans actually lead the NBA in defensive rebounding. Now they're taking on a depleted Lakers squad who, unfortunately, will have to go to work without both Anthony Davis and LeBron James now, both players out with significant injuries. Marc Gasol has also been listed as doubtful for the Lakers as well. LA's on a 2-game losing streak, and they also lost 4 of 5 as the underdog this year. LA's also finding themselves in the bottom 10 in three-point percentage, bottom 10 in road scoring. And even with their starters in the lineup, the Lakers are averaging just 108 points a game when they travel. Now, total-wise, LA's last 3 straight fell under the line, 70% to the under in their last 10. As a matter of fact, the Lakers have gone 16-4 to the under in their 20 road games this season. Meanwhile, the Pelicans saw their last 2 straight stay under the total themselves, 4-3 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the New Orleans Pelicans minus 6.5 and the under 223. All right, next ball game, it is going to be Suns versus the Heat, 8 o'clock East. And right now, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned pick'em contest here with the total at 215.5. Now, guys, we saw a lot of movement toward the Suns this morning with regards to the betting lines. We actually saw them at plus 2.5 at one point today. So chances are, by the time you watch this video, the line isn't even going to be at where I'm saying it's at. A lot of movement, up and down, back and forth. But regardless, I do think the movement is warranted. Phoenix is on a 2-game winning streak, 8-2 straight up in their last 10. The Suns are in the top 3 in offensive field goal percentage, top 3 in shooting from the stripe. Devin Booker is scoring over 25 points a game here, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for the starting guard. Meanwhile, Chris Paul is averaging over 15.5 a night himself, 4 rebounds, 8 assists for the veteran point guard as well. The Suns allow just 107 points per contest. They're also 13-5 straight up when they travel. They've also successfully covered the number in over 72% of those road games. Now, Phoenix is squaring off against a Miami squad who may have to go to work without Goran Dragic, Gabe Vincent, and Avery Bradley. They're all listed as questionable. And, of course, Udonis Haslem, he's been officially ruled as out for tonight's contest as well. Now, the Heat's currently on a 3-game losing streak where they went just 1-4 against the number in their last 5. Miami's also successfully covered the point spread in just 8 of 22 home games, and they rank in the bottom 3 in shooting the 3-ball. Now, total-wise, Miami saw 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Phoenix get over the line. The Suns are 5-1 to the over in their last 6 meetings with the Southeast Division. I'm going to lean toward the Phoenix Suns winning this one outright and the over 215.5. All right, next contest, we're going to take a look at the Nets versus the Blazers, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Portland Trailblazers are -4, totals 234.5. And if you like the Nets in an upset victory while short-handed here tonight, they're plus $1.45 for some money line cash. Now, the Nets are already down Durant and Irving, and they may just have to play here tonight without the efforts of James Harden. He's questionable with some neck problems. Now, Shamet and Johnson are both out for Brooklyn as well, so these guys are heavily depleted right now. The Nets have failed to cover in their last 2 straight, just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. And even with their normal starters, the Nets are in the bottom 3 defensively in points allowed on the road, bottom 3 in defensive field goal percentage on the road as well. The Nets allow 119 points a game away from their home court, and they let their opponents make nearly 50% of their field goals in that very same category. Now they're taking on a Portland squad who's won 7 out of their last 10 themselves. The Blazers are in the top 10 in the NBA in scoring on average per contest. They're also in the top 10 in shooting the 3-ball. Damian Lillard is dropping over 30 points a game for the Blazers, 4 rebounds, 7 assists for the all-star point guard. Meanwhile, Gary Trent Jr. is scoring over 15 a night himself, along with a couple of rebounds. The Blazers are 14-8 straight up at the Moda Center. And when it comes to the total in this one, I still think we'll see a good amount of scoring despite how depleted Brooklyn is. Portland 60% to the over in their last 10 outings, 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Brooklyn. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Portland Trailblazers -4 and the over 234.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Sixers-Warriors, 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Sixers are the 3.5-point favorite on the road here. Numbers 216 juice to the over. Now, the Sixers did fail to cover the point spread in 2 out of their last 4. And both of those failures to cover coming against a New York team who really struggles to score points. And, of course, in addition to the loss of Joel Embiid here recently, Steph Curry's brother Seth won't be suiting up tonight for Philadelphia either. He is currently battling an ankle injury, so we will not see the Currys square off here tonight. But anyway, the Sixers have played 20 road games thus far in the season. They've successfully covered the point spread in just 8 of them. They're also in the bottom half of the NBA in road scoring. One more thing to add here, they're in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter scoring away from home as well. Now they're taking on a Golden State Warriors squad who they've been really good at the Chase Center this year, very good as the home team. Believe it or not, they're 13-7 straight up as the official home team, 60% against the number in those home games. The Warriors are in the top 10 in home scoring, top 10 in shooting the 3-ball in that same category. Steph Curry scoring 29 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 41% shooting from beyond the arc. Curry also drills 93% of his free throws. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins is also scoring nearly 18 a game for Golden State himself, 4 rebounds and a couple assists for the starting forward. And, despite being known primarily for their scoring, this is kind of a weird stat here. The Warriors are in the top 3 defensively in defensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, the Warriors saw contests with the Lakers, Jazz, Clippers, and Hornets get over the number recently. Meanwhile, Philly's gone 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Golden State Warriors +3.5 in the over 216. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, powered to you by my Patreon website. Give me the Magic +7.5 over 217. New York Knicks -2.5 under 224. New Orleans Pelicans -6.5 under 223. Phoenix Suns money line over 215.5. Portland -4 over 234 and a hook. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the show, one final reminder that we are 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily pick tier package plays on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 86% in our last 28 premium sports picks in that very same tier membership. I'm going to lean toward the Golden State Warriors +3.5 and the over 216. With that, guys, one final reminder that all the content on my YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes only. I don't make any guarantees of any kind. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some YouTube shout-outs. Shout out to Daniel Robb, King Jackson, Rowdy Ruckus, Daniel Buswell, Bo Dunn, Mr. Brewer, Brandon Lee, and wife, Brandon Lee and wife. Hello, Mrs. Lee. Matthew Reynolds, Black Rogue. And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Keith Oliver. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you end up getting a package here today, that's going to be good through the end of March. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.